I'm just big on being dangerous. So yeah, if you're not going to carry, learn how to fucking fight. My wife will carry. My kids will carry.
Yeah.
I don't put myself in situations, but then it could happen anywhere.
Yeah.
Someone could come into your front door. I think I had a good childhood. It was enough to make me aggressive and liking violence. Sometimes I just want to get hit in the face. One thing you do not turn down is your defense, ever. You can call it delusions, people call it confidence. It's a fine line. I think we're all just kind of sick and tired of the whole white man is out to get you and the white man is the devil. Tired of the whole left versus right, the black versus white, the gay versus straight. Now the man versus women, that just seems to me borderline demonic.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, Bo.
I wanted to get you on. I mean, you are a multicultural, jack of all trades kind of person, right? Pro boxer, pro artist. I brought your piece that you made for me that is absolutely amazing. I asked you to do this didn't I ask you to do this last year?
Yeah, time's been flying. It has been quite a bit of time.
How did you even get involved into the sculpting and stuff?
It was during COVID, during lockdown. I think a lot of people found hobbies to do, random stuff. And I was just messing around on YouTube and started dabbling. And then once we came out of lockdown, I continued to fight and get back into the swing of things for boxing. But this was kind of taking up a lot of my energy and time. And then I was trying to kind of half-ass it. And then once I stopped fighting, I went all in. And then that's when I really started to see my skills level up.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you have any skills before, or was it just kind of?
Yeah, I used to draw.
Okay.
When I was younger, I wanted to be a comic book artist. I was an artist before I was anything else. A lot of people don't know that, but I have that thing that I'm sure you do too. I just got a real obsessive personality. So it's all I'll think about. It's the first thing I think about when I wake up. Last thing I think about before I go to bed. It's all I'm thinking about during school. In school, instead of paying attention, I'm drawing. I had a whole sketchbook, and it was just kind of. But I started boxing when I was 14. So
you started young.
Yeah, I was juggling two different things, and it was just tough to try to manage both, because I just want to be the best at whatever it is, and I know you got to just do it all day.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, but I think subconsciously I understood that because I was seeing the results. So I just kind of put art on the back burner, and then just went balls deep into the boxing, and then. Yeah, kind of came back around 10 years later during when we went on lockdown, when everybody just kind of slowed everything down, slowed the pace of everything down, and we were just kind of bored. And
you were stuck in your home, and
yeah, kind of. I mean, we didn't get hit too bad here. I didn't necessarily, but I don't own a business, so I don't, but yeah, it was, everybody was just kind of bored, just kind of chilling, and so that's how it started.
You were doing. From what I saw online on your Instagram, mostly Michael Myers, a lot of Michael Myers stuff. And then you started venturing out into other things and then doing commissioned work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even your Michael Myers stuff that you started with was amazing.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I think it sucks, but thanks, man. That's growth, though.
Yeah.
Thanks. I appreciate it. So, yeah, it was mostly horror. That was kind of that's just kind of what I grew up on. Those are the things that I was watching at a young age. Obviously, pop culture, the heroes of Batman stuff. We talked about that. But yeah, it was just easy to dive into it, because I think I was at a toy store and I saw some really cool, action figures. And contrary to what people think, action figures are generally marketed towards adults, grown men. It's kind of weird, but that's what it is. And I was collecting those, because I like the old McFarlane stuff. From the 90s and 80s, when they were cool and gritty. And a lot of it was the horror characters. So I would take a figure, and then it just started with dioramas. I'd make a little platform and a backdrop or something cool, put him in his own world. And then I eventually, moved on to start making my own figures. Because I kind of got bored. You're limited to what they're making. And then you can't really, you're kind of stuck in that. So, yeah, that's how the sculpting started. It was about 3 years after the diorama stuff, so maybe in 2023. So I'm coming up on 3 years of sculpting, I think.
That's crazy. That's not a long time.
Feels like it, but no, it's really not. When I think about it, you're right. It's not that long.
And I mean, your work is. I mean, the detail in this is unbelievable. And now, I feel I'm trying to remember. I think I got this from you. It was like right around springtime or something like that, right? April-ish, somewhere in there.
Sounds about right.
And now the stuff that you put out now, I think is like even better. I'm not saying this is bad, but I'm saying like your skill level has even stepped up another notch.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I would hope so. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
So I look at that. I'm still objectively, it's pretty good. I could have done a better job on the paint. Now that I'm seeing it now, Yeah. No, I'm always trying to grow, always trying to evolve, get better.
Yeah.
I don't like getting complacent. I don't even sculpt like I should. Sculptors, true traditional sculptors that are pushing clay around every single day for hours and hours and hours. I don't do that. I've probably made that and then took a week maybe, and then maybe started another commission. And then there's times where I'm doing molds and casts where I'll make that, mold it, cast it. Now I'm not touching clay for weeks, sometimes like a month or two. So I don't push clay around like I should, but it's kind of second nature. I think the boxing helps with the dynamic movement that you kind of feel when you look at something like that. In the sense of understanding movement, grace, balance, how the body moves, where it shifts. Does it, it needs to make sense too from a three-dimensional standpoint. You need to wrap your head all the way around it. How would it look? Anatomy. Like, I think that helped when I used to draw, when I was younger, I used to draw comic book characters and stuff. I want to be a comic book artist, so that helps. But I think just having an athletic background, you kind of understand how things should look. I'm watching fights all the time as I'm growing up. I'm just constantly seeing movement, like poetry, emotion, so it helps. It helps to create dynamic characters and like kind of make it feel like it's alive, as opposed to something stoic or that's just kind of like Superman, hands on his hips. Like, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But I want to try to tell a story in a sense. Yeah.
That makes sense, because even when I asked you to do something, you were like, well, what do you want? I'm like, well, I want either an Iron Man or a Wolverine. He's like, you go, I'll do Wolverine. And you said, what Wolverine version do you want? I'm like, I would really like the where he comes out of the where they made him Wolverine.
Yeah, Weapon X.
Weapon X, thank you. Yeah. And you're like, oh yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
Because you want to make a story out of
Sure.
it, which makes sense because you could see like the backdrop and all of that stuff.
Yeah, well, it's just like it's a heavy story. There's a lot of emotion with that. That whole story, that whole character in general is very interesting to me, and it's also right there along the lines of that like gory aesthetic that I like.
Yeah,
he's a very violent character, very visceral. It's tragic what happens to him. There's a lot to that, and it's also he's an animal in this stage. So I thought that was fun. Yeah, this is probably a lot of people tell me this is the coolest thing I've ever made.
Really?
To this day, yeah, a lot of people think that's the coolest thing. Yeah. I think it just because there's such a big market out there for these characters, these pop culture characters, the Marvel superhero in general. It's a bigger pool. Horror is like a ghetto. It's kind of smaller. If you appreciate it, you appreciate it. You don't. But a lot of people like these characters, so I got a lot of commissions off it. So I'm gonna do more of it.
Are you?
Yeah, I think so. I definitely think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, because even the claws, like I don't know if the audience can see on the camera, but the claws are even, you made those metal, which is awesome. They're not even clay; those are actual metal claws. So.
Yeah, a lot of splinters making those. I didn't know I never knew that like metal splinters were a thing, but they fucking suck. Yeah. Like little shavings from like grinding it down. I was doing it in my house like an asshole. So I'm like stepping all over this shit. It's all in my hands. Yeah. And they stay in there because it's not like a wooden.
No,
tiny.
Right. Yeah. So. It's kind of like hairdressers when they get the hair splinters, man. Those things like stay in there. Yeah. So on your boxing side, well, let me go backtrack. Where do you want to take your art? Like, what's your ideal situation with a lot of your artwork and your sculpting and all that stuff?
I'm in a weird place right now, I think. I'm pursuing other means of income and going to start actually in the next year. I actually want to talk to you about it, real estate stuff. So, I'm not going to say I'm going to start moving away from this stuff, but I imagine that stuff's going to eat up a lot more of my time. But I don't think I'll ever stop completely. But Yeah, I guess I don't necessarily have a goal. I think right now, off the top of my head, do bigger, larger items, meaning one of one scale. So, as big as I am, maybe just head, shoulders, bust style, or even a little smaller. But I'm trying to up my scale because when I first started, it was like smaller things.
Yep.
This is a little bigger. So I'll take it there. But, this is just fun. It's a side hustle for me. It's another form of, or means to expression, and kind of getting it out there. And, I have an audience, somewhat of an audience on social media now, so that's cool. They're very supportive for the most part, unless I'm being controversial. And then, so it's cool. I'm just enjoying the journey, putting my stuff out there. If people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. Yeah. I'm probably going to get a little bit more, maybe, for lack of a better term, maybe radical or just more opinionated on things that I make, rather, not necessarily what I'm saying, but I just want to make more interesting things that people are like, oh, that's more present times, and maybe even just taking where we're at right now and just putting a crazy twist on it. I'll just leave it at that.
Right. You don't think that this is something that you'd want to make as your full-time gig, as your main source of income?
I won't say that it's not something I wouldn't want. I would like for it to be, for sure. I think any artist would love to do this full time. It's difficult, There's a lot of artists that you've heard the term starving artists. It's not easy, but I never ask for easy. I ask for strength. So I just always persevere and just keep pushing. If I could do boxing, this isn't too bad. It's just you put a lot of fucking time into what you're doing. And if you're not seeing the money, it's like, damn it, dude. I don't even have children, but if I had children, it'd be a completely different ball game.
Sure.
And I want children soon, so it's like, that's gonna introduce a different element to it and a different type of pressure to my grind. So I'm enjoying the freedoms that I have and the lack of pressure and stuff, but I'm still gonna give it some more time and just kind of. I still go hard. I'm still going hard. Like I'm always in my studio. I'm always cooking something up, and then as you know, I'm a personal trainer, so I'm in the gym. If I'm not in the gym, I'm in my studio. That's it. So I'm gonna keep pushing and just do different things. Keep getting out of my comfort zone. It's a little more nerve-wracking to make larger pieces, so I think that's where I need to go. If it's kind of like, I don't know, then I know I need to do that.
Yeah. Step into the unknown.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just see what happens. But there's a lot of artists out there a lot of my buddies that are doing it, and I'm as good as them, so I'm like, why the fuck can't I do it?
Sure.
So,
You said you stopped boxing. What do you have reasons behind stopping the boxing?
Yeah, of course. The boxing thing, I don't even think I've actually ever talked about this publicly. Maybe a couple people in my inner circle know, so I'll share it with you, though. But I think I wasn't really in love with the sport for the last 4 or 5 years that I was doing it. I just was really out of touch with it. I don't necessarily think I was even trying to be the guy that I once was, the way I grew up and some of the things that I saw. And I had a pretty good life. I think I do. Some people would tell you I didn't, but I think I had a good childhood. But it was enough to make me aggressive and liking violence, being okay with it, So as most fighters are like that. They don't mind hurting people. They're just like, we like it.
Yeah.
So, in a controlled environment with a ref. But it's like, I think I just kind of outgrew that whole aspect. I was trying to be a little bit more, just kind of, not to sound gay, like in touch with myself and just kind of know myself a little bit more. I've been around world-class fighters, like the best in the world, literally. And it's like, there's a common trope with these people. They are some of the most like remarkable people, so much admiration for them. And then you spend time with them, you talk to these people, and they are just like any other person that's just like going through a fucking thing. And they're like very interesting, very complex, right? But very like egotistical, very just like focused, can't tell me shit. I'm doing it like this, and that. Not to the point where you're like cocky, but it's just they have this like unwavering, you can call it delusion, some people call it confidence. It's a fine line. But I mean, it's just, it's a weird place to kind of live in and exist in all the time. And I think it was just kind of hard for me to juggle that. I just kind of got out of touch with it, and I was like, I didn't feel as angry anymore. as I once was. You know, I was like, I don't feel that like chip on my shoulder to where like this is what's going to give me love and acceptance type stuff, you know, not to turn this into a fucking therapy session, but that's what it was. You know, I was fighting because I was angry and I just stopped being angry. And then I was like,
was there something that happened that made you stop being angry?
Yeah. I remember the start of it was like, I went through a heartbreak. It was like my first and last one, only one, when I was like 21.
Yeah.
And I remember, you know, I actually think this is important to say too, any people out there that are maybe experiencing this. I remember I called my mom that day, or one of those days I was going through it. And I remember I called my mom and we just kind of like had it out on the phone because I always had like a rough relationship with her. And we talked it out. You know, she cried, told her I forgave her. That was the big thing. I forgave her. I also apologized. I just tried to let go of that fucking monkey on my back. And I swear, dude, to this day, like I know that was the beginning of a long road of me just not being such a fucking like pissed off teenager anymore. Because I was like 21 at that point. But that was the beginning for me to just forgive and I still subconsciously probably hold on to a lot of stuff as we all do, but yeah, that was the beginning. And I remember because I was in the gym and my coach was like, yeah, I need the old you back. I remember he said that to me. And I didn't know what the fuck he meant. But now in retrospect, I look back and I think that's what he was talking about. I think I definitely took a switch. I was not as mean or aggressive or angry anymore as a person. Like my romantic relationships went up, platonic, you know, all my life outside just started changing, you know, started going better. When I was peak boxing, my personal life was like horrible. I couldn't juggle both of them. I don't know why. I just had a hard time. So, you know, that was really what's kind of pulled me away. I just didn't. And you know what? Gervonta Davis, he's a famous fighter. You've heard of him, I'm sure. He said something similar too recently, where he was like, "Yeah, I got kids. I want to be a better person." He's thinking about going to therapy. Whatever your perception is on therapy, that's another thing. But I just remember hearing him say that, and being like, "Ooh, yeah, that's a wrap." Because I know that feeling where you're just like, I don't want to be that guy anymore. Because you have to be fucking like mean, cold, calculated. It's not to say you can't be a family man. A lot of these guys are fathers, bro. But it was just hard for me.
Yeah.
That's all. It's just me. You know, it was just hard for me to do it. But I'm just grateful that I was able to learn a skill. Now I get paid to teach it. And it's for life.
Yeah.
You know, it's not.
It's a great skill.
Yeah. It's not like, not to knock on like tennis or anything, but it's like, you know, it may be dangerous, which is what I think men need more of today, right now. I think men are super cucked out right now, and that kind of saved me in a way. Yeah, it made me somebody that doesn't have to feel fucking scared or insecure or like overcompensating for something. Yeah, I don't get into fights. I'm, you know, I try to keep my peace, and because I know what it is, you know. So I'm grateful for that aspect. And it's always in you. You know, I'm in the gym. I spar 2-3 times a week. I really, I like hitting people. I like getting hit, but there's another level. When people are on the couch talking about like, oh yeah, like they box on the weekends or they go into the gym and hit the bag and then they're like, yeah, I would have jabbed more if I was that dude. And I would have, it's like, dude, you don't understand the pressure.
Yeah.
You don't understand the preparation that it takes, the weeks and weeks and weeks, the blood, the sweat, the tears that go into it, bro, behind the scenes. Most people could not fathom it. You know, it's terrifying. It's a scary thing to do. And
plus a sparring session in the gym versus an actual competition is night and day. Night and day. I mean, look at the UFC, right? These guys, like you said, blood, sweat, and tears. They're in their gym all the time. They're doing rep after rep of the same situation over and over and over. Once you get in that ring, once you get in that octagon, once you get on that mat, all of that doesn't matter when the adrenaline kicks up if you can't stay focused and, you know,
Yeah, you got more skin in the game. You know, there's much more investment. Just pressure, just how you deal with pressure. You know, I've fought over 80 or 90 times, somewhere around there. I don't remember how many amateur fights exactly I had, but I know I had 11 professional fights. And just every time it felt the same. It never gets any easier. You just like get the butterflies, you're nervous. So, yeah, you know, I just think you have to be psychotic to do something like that. And I was very psychotic when I was younger.
I would say you're pretty fortunate then, because most guys that have that chip on their shoulder, they don't, a lot of guys don't ever, it doesn't ever go away. And some guys don't figure what you figured out until they're much, much older. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at Tyson. Mm-hmm. Tyson is, what is he, like almost 60? Mm-hmm. And he's probably just now in the last 5 or 10 years kind of come to terms with himself and his background and all of that stuff. But prior to that, like you said, he was violent and very mean.
Yeah, I would argue, a character like him is probably for sure had a much more troubled childhood than I did. So, he's had a hard life on the streets of wherever he was from, Brooklyn or wherever, somewhere in New York, Brownsville, I think. Mm-hmm. Pretty sure that dude, he went through a bunch of crazy shit. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I had a pretty good childhood. So it's like, guys like that, it's probably going to take a long fucking time to overcome something. Like his demons are probably a lot bigger. Mm-hmm. And that's not to say that, this guy can have A, B, C, and D happen to him, and then this guy can have just A happen to him, but they can both be experiencing the same amounts of like fucking problems in life. It's mm-hmm. really just like your chemistry, what God or nature, whatever you believe in, gave you, and how you're equipped to deal with things. Mm-hmm. And I believe that anyways, because you've got, you've got people that grow up in the same households under the same type of abuse, and one guy goes off to be a successful business person, and then the other guy's a fucking crackhead.
Yep.
So it's just, I don't know if that's luck of the draw or what, but some people, and I think I'm one of those people that were just like, no, I'm not going to buckle. I'm not going to give in to this.
Yeah.
You're not going to tell me what my life's supposed to look like based off of my demographic and where I'm from or what you're telling me to be. Mm-hmm. And I think Tyson's a guy like that too, but it takes a mentor, it takes a coach. He had a coach, I had a coach. You find the right people, and then they kind of polish you up and get you ready for war. Mm-hmm. And that's like the only thing that makes sense to a troubled kid. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, let's just fucking fight. I don't really know what else I'm going to do. I'm not going to be a doctor. I didn't pay attention in school. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I guess I am lucky in that sense. However you define that, however you define success, I feel happy. I feel rich at heart. I feel lucky to... I still get an itch every blue moon, I'm just like, but then I'll just spar and get it off.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily feel the need to seek that love or validation like I used to. 'Cause that was the first time you ever feel, most people, that's the first time you ever feel worth a damn. Mm-hmm. Most fighters will tell you that, I think. You don't feel like you're worth a fuck. But when you fight and you get your hand raised, and everyone's cheering, it's a great feeling, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And if you're a little darker, taking another step to like conquer and battle another person and to defeat them is like that adds another element to mm-hmm. it. Mm-hmm. So
feeds the ego.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely does. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to kill mine towards the end, and that's where I was having huge issues there. So I was like, I'm not shit. I'm gonna be a better person, humble. So yeah, man. But yeah, I'm lucky to kind of walk out of it. I still have my faculties. I didn't get hit too much. We'll see later in life. That's another thing too. I was kind of getting concerned about the brain damage aspect of it.
Yeah, man.
Alzheimer's runs in my family, so I get concerned about that.
Yeah. I mean, the fighters and even a lot of professional athletes, they get CTE. Man, by the time they get older, they're dealing with some major shit with the brain.
Yeah, there's kids my age that are already kind of slurring, which is kind of scary.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it was just like, especially in the Chicago area, those gym wars, because that's where it happens.
Yeah. You
spar thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds. If you're in this for years, you only fight like a couple hundred. Mm-hmm. If you think about it, if I got add up my fights, whatever, 3 times, like 90, what is that, 270, something like that? Mm-hmm. So that's how many rounds I fought. It's the sparring. It's the 3 times a week, anywhere from 4 to 12 to 15 rounds a day every time. And then you're going to war sometimes. So that's when the damage happens. I've been lucky not to. Even when I sparred today with these guys, I tell these guys, the kids in the gym, if you're better than somebody, you don't need to like steamroll them. But one thing you do not turn down is your defense, ever. You could turn your offense down to match theirs if you want, but dude, don't ever turn your defense down. Don't ever just allow someone, because they're not as good as you or even lighter than you just to hit you in the head. You know, I mean, I'm sure I'll spar with my kids and let them do it, but I mean, like, you know, I'm not gonna let somebody just punch me in the head. Any type of hit to the head, I'm not doing it. That doesn't mean I'm blasting you, because I work with people.
Yeah.
But that's one thing I don't turn down. I don't turn down I take it very seriously. Yeah. Yeah, I'm big on that. I'm big on being smart. I didn't have good fundamentals when I was boxing growing up. I was just very athletic. I was more of like a gunslinger and like would just throw punches, very kind of like a Roy Jones style. But I teach these kids fundamentals today. Things I never had or was taught. Keep your hands up. Keep your chin down. Work behind a jab. Use your legs. Shit like that. Keep them safe. So that way you can have a longer career. And once you start getting to a higher level, you know, the fundamentals start to become, it's the ones that have the most solid fundamentals that they're dominating the sport.
For as long as you've been coaching now, have you ever come across somebody where you're like, damn, this kid's going to be good? Phenoms?
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm more like, I see kids that are very talented, very promising. They're just natural fighters. Like there was this kid, my buddy Keon's son, I can't think of his name right now for some reason, but he came into the gym and just never really had a lot of experience, but just was a natural fighter. Just like the way they move, they're just natural. You know, I don't know what it is, but yeah, you see kids like that every once in a while. But I'm not necessarily a coach. You know, I'll go to the fights and help out. I've cornered a couple times, but I try to preface everything I do. I let these guys know, but like, yeah, I'm more of a teacher. I just want to teach you things. Being a coach is more like almost damn near a full-time gig.
Yeah.
Steve will tell you that.
Yeah.
It's not easy. And he's also a business owner. It's not fucking easy.
No.
You have to be emotionally available for these guys. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot that goes into being a coach. When I think back to what my coaches did for me and all they invested, you know, the only regret I have is that I didn't make millions of dollars to give that, to pay them, you know. But it's a big investment, man.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. You know, Steve does a good thing. And I've told him that before, you know, any coach, regardless of what people say or personality, because they're people at the end of the day, but they invest into their community. The good ones do. And that's what I'm about.
Yeah.
You know,
Steve and Jeff are very good about that. And, you know, especially a lot of these guys that, you know, have to cut weight, and then you're dealing with that too, you know, the weight cuts. A lot of them do it wrong, you know. Or they're not making weight fucking day before the fight or whatever, you know, and you spend all those weeks training and you can't. It's, it can
do
be
you
exhausting.
help any of them with the weight cuts?
I have, yeah. I have.
What do you find is the best method? Water loading?
Water loading is one. It depends. It depends on how far off weight they are.
So if he's 20 pounds overweight and we are 4 weeks out, that's pretty easy.
I think 20 pounds in 4 weeks is a lot of weight to lose. I know a lot of guys are like, oh, I'll just go in the sauna. I'm not a big sauna person.
Yeah.
Because you have intramuscular and intracellular water. And when you go into a sauna, you're not depleting water in the right place. You're actually dehydrating yourself.
Okay.
So what happens is you sweat out all of the essential minerals and electrolytes out of your body, and most of these guys don't replenish them.
Right.
And so when you get in the ring, a lot of them they're not thinking clearly, they're not moving as fast, you know, because they're basically dehydrated. And then on top of that, these guys are taking out carbs out of their diet, which is essential. It's your primary source of energy, right? Yeah. There's a proper way to do it.
Sure.
I tell these guys, like, if you're serious about fighting, you need to stay within 10, 15 pounds max of your fighting weight all year round. If you get beyond that, some of these guys are gaining 30 or 40 pounds.
Yeah.
Because you think about it, you know, these guys will get noticed 2 weeks before a fight. And you want to try and drop 30 or 40 pounds in 2 weeks?
And some of them do it.
Some of them do it, but it's just, I don't think it's the best thing.
No, it can't be, for sure, no. But the MMA guys seem to be doing it way, way crazier than the boxers do.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, Vel's fighting at 55 this weekend.
Yep.
You know Vel? It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I think
he's already crazy lean and jacked.
Yeah, dude, he's damn near my size. I might be a little bit bigger,
Yeah.
frame wise, but not by much. And
No.
I was fighting at 68, and I was like, whew.
Yeah.
They wanted me to do 60, and I was like, that might kill me. But to an MMA guy, it's nothing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Vel said he cut like
He's done it.
30 pounds, I think.
He's
for
done
this
it.
fight.
I helped Val before.
Yeah.
He basically, his one fight that he did, I think it was one of his first fights. I helped him prep for the weight cut. And after the fight, he's like, dude, this is the best I've ever felt. He's like, I didn't feel rushed with the weight loss. I'm like, just follow the same protocol. like next fight, he's like, I'm going to go down a weight class. I'm like, bro, you're crazy, because you're already like super muscular and lean, you know?
I think he mentioned to me, though, he didn't feel maybe as strong at that weight class. I think, and that's why people go down. You go down because you want to be stronger, bigger. They call them weight class bullies. You know, so a lot of the champions are doing that. You sacrifice that, just 24 to 48 hours of hell, depending on how you do it, and you go out there and dominate the smaller guy. So, yeah.
But then you get guys, some guys that I know that have done that, massive weight cuts, and all of a sudden their kidneys stop working, or they start getting heart palpitations. So, I mean, that's why I say stay within 10 to 15 pounds of your fighting weight.
Yeah. I always did. I always stayed about 15 pounds, and that was pretty decent. And I would always cut like 10 pounds of water weight the week of the fight.
Which is totally doable. If you water load, you can totally do that.
I was doing, yeah. I was doing like 3 gallons, 2 gallons, 1 gallon.
Yep.
And then I would do the sauna like the day of the fight. I've done it to where like I was lucky. So like the scale's right there and the sauna's in the other room at the venue. And I would go in the sauna, be in there for like an hour, sweat off like 2-3 pounds, take a cold shower, you know, and just get my heartbeat just like boom, boom, just like calm down.
Yep.
Go hop right on the scale. As soon as I get off, I'm already rehydrating. So I'm not sitting in that dehydrated state. I try to tell the guys, like, it's probably not a good idea. I don't know this, maybe you do, but it's probably not a great idea to sit in that dehydrated state for like that long, feeling like shit for so long. Maybe if you just do it real quick and you put it back in, maybe, I don't know if there's a difference, but I would imagine that it starts to fuck with your body if you're sitting like that for like a day or two.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a 24-hour weigh-in, you could probably recover, depending on how much you're cutting, you could recover pretty quick, especially if when you start drinking water again, you're loading electrolytes and minerals back in, you know, your body could recover pretty quickly from that.
Sure.
But if you're coming down from a 40-pound weight cut, plus, you know, like these guys are going to the sauna every single day the week of, spending an hour or 2 hours in there, you know, barely eating, that's just not,
That's not smart.
It's not smart.
I had to learn that too. Yeah, I used to think it was the food. But I mean, it is. You have to eat clean, but I used to think like even clean eating is what's gonna make me heavy, and I got to stop eating altogether. And I would not eat for 48 hours. And when I was younger in the amateurs, because there's no, you don't know.
You don't know, right?
You have no idea. No one's telling you anything.
Right.
So
I always say this story. Like I helped a girl once in the gym lose 100 pounds, and she was eating 4,000 calories a day.
Wow.
But you've got to train the body. You have to train the body metabolically, just like you train the body in the gym. And so, you know, you start at X, and then you keep working them up, and then you have enough calories there that you can start messing with food to cut that weight, you know.
Right.
But if you're constantly only eating, you know, 1,000 or 1,500 calories a day, but you're expending 5,000 calories with training, like your body has nowhere to go. Right. And then when you start eating, you're going to gain a bunch of weight initially. So if guys want to be, I say this all the time, like if you want to be fucking serious about this stuff, you got to take your food as serious as you take your training. Period.
Absolutely.
You cannot half-ass one side of the equation.
Yeah. I mean, everybody has a different percentage to it, but I know whatever, when I can work out 7 days a week, and because I'm like, okay, I'm going to lose like this extra 5 pounds of my belly, show these 2 bottom abs or whatever. But if I'm eating junk, even if I'm working out twice a day like a savage, it's not going to they're not going to show.
No.
I've never had them show. Maybe some people can, but it's the diet. I got to lean out. Even if I dial back the training by like 50% and eat clean, then I'll get the results I want. So,
and that's a whole nother thing is recovery, especially the older you get, is a lot of people think if I work more, I can burn more. And you actually burn the most fat post training, not during training.
Really?
So you burn fat while you sleep. And so if your body is not recovering as fast as, if you're not allowing it to recover, it can't rebuild as fast as it can.
Right.
Kind of to your point just now, if you do 50% of the work but still eat clean, it means that your body can recover faster to be able to be ready for the next workout. It's the same thing like here in the gym. I tell guys all the time, don't come in here and kill yourself every single day. Every single set does not need to be to failure, because you need to set yourself up for your next session the following day.
Yeah.
And be recovered enough.
Right.
So
yeah, it's like we don't hard spar every session.
Exactly right.
You got to have days where you tech spar, days where you work on shit. We'll have days in the gym where I'll tell these guys, because they want to come in and do what they're good at session after session after session.
Yeah.
So you're not really working on anything. I was like, sometimes come in here, sacrifice something, which could be your pride, because you might have to get your ass kicked because you need to work on A, B, and C.
Yeah.
And then while you're getting your ass kicked trying to work on A, B, and C, you have to stay disciplined and continue to work on that. And then the guy that you always beat up might get you that day. And what are you going to, oh yeah, I was working on shit. No, just gotta, whatever. I was working on shit. Don't say anything. And then, you can catch them the next time. But you got to go through days like that.
Yeah.
Where you just dial it back, work on some technique, or if you're lifting, I guess it's not till failure. Yeah. So
I saw an interview recently with Gordon Ryan.
The jits guy.
Yeah. And he was saying, someone asked him, like, what is your training like when you are getting ready? And he said, most people think that I'm in there and I'm tapping everybody out every single round. He's like, I'm not. He's like, I get tapped out every single day. He's like, the difference is that I allow people to work while I'm working on things. If I get tapped, I get tapped. He's like, I might do one hard session a day or round. But outside of that, he's like, I'm just moving and trying to get into positions. He said, he's like, I'm not going balls out every single round. And those guys there at that level are doing 60 minutes of sparring nonstop.
Wow. Yeah.
So.
Have you been able to get back into it?
Yeah.
I've seen you a couple times. Like, are you full speed?
My mobility is there. My strength is not there, but I'm able to at least handle myself,
Yeah.
Good enough, There's still certain spots where I'm like, this still doesn't feel right. But
Right.
I think a lot of it too is you're a little timid. You don't want to tear it again.
Yeah. Do you worry about the other one too?
Oh, I tore this one too. I tore both sides.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I tore this side with Steve.
No. How long
Yeah,
ago
doing
was
a
that?
Kimura.
Before I knew you?
No, this one was literally like I tore this one and then I tore this one like 3 or 4 months later. But
That's
this
how it
one
is.
was like completely off the bone. This one was just a partial tear. But man, I had, and Steve, like he's just a beast, and I was playing bottom game and I had him in a Kimura from half guard. And I went to go do this thing where you kind of spin around and you could take the back. And I think what happened is my elbow was on the ground and I was using that as a pivot point. And Steve is pressure. And so when I went to circle around, I just felt that ping, 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 like that. And I'm like, and he thought he was like, oh, I'm getting in pressure. And I'm like, I said, tap, tap, tap. And I took my shirt off and I could just see the gap right here. It swelled up a little bit, but this one I'm fine with.
No surgery?
No surgery, but this one was completely off the bone. It literally, I had a blood stain all the way down my side. Ooh. So, but it feels good,
Yeah.
outside of that.
Good,
Strength thing is a different thing. I'm benching, dumbbells, I used to be able to rep 100-pound dumbbells. I'm not doing that now. Plus I'm at this stage of my life, I'm not trying to be like that. I just want to maintain my physique and stay mobile.
Sure.
So I might only be doing 35-pound dumbbells, which is fine,
How old are you?
45.
What does that feel like?
It's I tell you, it's I work out all the time, I spar all the time, I eat right, But man, when you hit your 40s, you don't recover like you used to.
Really?
Yeah, when you were younger.
Like hard wall, like as soon as you hit 40s?
I think so. I started feeling it in my late 30s. But I also abused my body pretty hard, you know.
Doing jits and stuff?
Prior to that, it was powerlifting.
That's right. That's right.
So when you're constantly moving heavy weight all the time, even bodybuilding, you know, you're really taking the muscles to the limit. And I'm not a big guy. You know, I don't have the genetics to be big. But I still, like, I have, kind of like you, I have this thing where I want to be better. So you keep pushing yourself, but your body can only do so much. Your mind is always going to think you could do more than what your body's capable of.
For sure. Yeah, that's the fact.
So it's about being smart now. I think, again, my training style has completely changed. I'm more, let's stay mobile, let's keep the physique and keep some strength. And a lot of my training has shifted since I got into jits. You know, before I would train 6 days a week in the weight room. Now I'm lucky if I get 3 days in the weight room because most of my focus is jits. I want to get good at jits.
Right. You need that mobility.
You need the mobility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think any type of martial arts, you're going to want some mobility.
Yeah.
And the lifting the heavy weights and being a little locked up is not going to be beneficial whatsoever.
Yeah. That's kind of like when you see the guys walking like this, you know? Yeah, you could be big, but then you can't move. You can't even wipe your fucking ass.
Right.
You know?
You fucking, also your cardio is probably trash.
Correct.
How much oxygen is being used just to fire those muscles out. People are afraid of big guys, but I'm like, I would rather fight a big dude than like a wiry, lengthy guy.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually want to, I only have so much bandwidth and I have so much shit going on, but I actually want to get into some boxing. I want to learn.
Do you?
I did like a little bit. I did JKD for a while.
What is that?
Jeet Kune Do, which is Bruce Lee's.
Yeah, Bruce Lee's, yeah.
So you learn a little bit of basics.
Yeah. He was big into Western boxing.
Yeah.
I think because he wasn't, he was doing the Eastern. And then he was like, we don't know shit.
Yeah.
And I think he went over here. Yeah.
So it's on my list to do. I want to, because I want to, kind of like you said, you want to be a little bit more well-rounded so you could defend yourself. Not saying I'm like out to get into fights, but
do you carry?
Just never know. No.
You own?
I own, yeah, but I don't carry. No.
Do you think you'll start?
I don't know. I think in my mind, sometimes I think like I think there's something, this is going to sound weird. I think there's something quantum about that where I feel like if I start carrying, that you start bringing that energy into your life.
Possibly. I could see, I've actually heard a few people say that stuff, but yeah, it's just like where you're at. You know, I'm not out at bars like that. I don't put myself in situations, but then it could happen anywhere.
Yeah.
Someone could come into your front door right now. You know, I mean, it's like, it could happen anywhere. So I would just be damned. You know, once I settle down, have a family and children, it's going to be, you know, my wife will carry, my kids will carry.
Yeah.
You know? No, I'm kidding. But like, we got to, like, I'm just big on that. You know, I mentioned it earlier. I'm just big on being dangerous. So yeah, if you're not going to carry, learn how to fucking fight.
Yep.
Learn how my children will wrestle and they will box. They don't need to compete, but you will know how to defend yourself. I think those two are like the staple, the main two things that a man I think should know. You know, you need to, because all the fights are going to start standing up, and sometimes it's very close quarters. So I mean, you could say also you could throw Muay Thai in their elbows and stuff like that, but learn how to throw hands, and if somebody grabs you, you know what to do. And if you can handle that, like, you don't necessarily need jits, but if you just know how to fucking wrestle and punch, I think that's enough for most men, and most men don't know how to do that.
No.
And you know, when Colt, whatever his name is, invented the handgun, it kind of made all men put us all on an equal playing field. If you carry,
yeah,
you don't need to know how to fight it. You could just shoot. And that's what a lot of these kids are doing nowadays.
It kind of like what you said a little bit ago. You know, I graduated high school. I was a fucking 125 pounds. I was a small guy, you know? And so when you're that small, you don't, at least I didn't have a lot of self-confidence. So I started going to the gym, put some size on, because then you think in your head, okay, if I get bigger, I'll have more self-confidence. And then you get bigger and then you find out you really don't have much more self-confidence. You think you do, but then like you said, you would much rather go against a big guy than, you know, a fighter, because a big guy, and I learned that after jits, because I, you know, when I first started, you know, I was 200 pounds, you know, I was lifting heavy. And the minute I started rolling with Steve or even just a blue belt, like I couldn't do shit, you know?
Yeah.
So then you're like, okay, well maybe weightlifting isn't the thing.
Yeah.
So now you think, okay, well now I need to learn jits. Jits is in its own self is addicting because it's like chess.
Yeah.
You're constantly trying to figure shit out.
Yeah.
Do you think boxing's the same way, kind of like chess?
Oh yeah, I was just screaming that at the kids the other day. Like, you guys are playing checkers.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's IQ. You know,
it is
pattern recognition.
Yep.
What is happening when I do this, and what happens when I make this move here, and this, and you know, just being able to adjust. It's a very violent form of chess, very high stakes, fast pace, right? Because it's happening so quick. You know, jits is going to have a slower tempo than boxing because guys can stall. You can hold positions maybe for a second, depending on the level. You know, if you're at the Ramsey, what's his name? Gordon Ramsay?
Gordon Ryan.
Who's Gordon Ramsay? Isn't that a chef or something?
Yeah, that's the chef.
Gordon Ryan. If you're Gordon Ryan, it's like boom, boom, boom. I'm sure I've seen some Israels, but boxing is just constant. It's in your face. You can hit over and over and over. Wrestling's like that. It's a grind, just fast paced. But yeah, you got to make those quick decisions, make good moves, pattern recognition. You know, the best fighters are the smartest fighters. But yeah, it's important, dude. I think it gave me a level of confidence that I wish I see a lot of these kids today. I wish you could have that. It's not like, oh, I'm a big bad dude, like I can fight. It's just it just kind of you know what it does? It turns the volume down on so many of those thoughts and the noise, the chatter, external and internal. You know, hearing people say shit, people pressing you doesn't really bother you as much anymore. You know, and it really shouldn't. I don't think it should be bothering, and I don't think words should be having that much of an impact. They used to when I was younger, but I don't think that they should. If you can get to a place where you could say whatever you want, you can bleep this out, but if you can call me a to my face, as long as you're not in my personal space, people could say whatever you want to say. What am I going to fight you because you said something to me, because you have an opinion about me? It's kind of crazy. Just don't come near me or mine, and we'll be fine. You could talk all that crazy shit, but you just need to be to a point where, like, you know who you are, you have strong character, strong morals and values, and you feel safe. You need to be dangerous. I'm a firm believer in that.
Jordan Peterson talks about that a lot.
He sure does. He sure
said
does.
You should have controlled violence.
That's right. That's right. You need to have controlled violence. You need to be able to destroy shit and just control that and be in control of it. And that's kind of how I teach these kids. There's kids in there that are afraid to go hard, or afraid to hit. Like, I don't want to, I don't want to hurt anybody. And I'm just like, dude, you're fucking, I'll just tell you being a fucking cuck, bro. Like, it's time to butch up, bro. Like, it's time to, and I'll put my hands out. That's one of the few times I'll let these kids hit me. Just get it out of your system. It's okay to be dominant. Yeah. They're so afraid to be like dominant, to dominate somebody, which is the feeling that I used to strive for, and that most athletes strive for. Well,
think about how a lot of these kids are taught. They're taught not to be dominant.
Yeah, right. It's very emasculating, the society we have right now.
Yeah.
It's not favorable to be, an alpha male. That word has such a negative connotation now. But masculinity, traditional masculinity, seems to be a thing of the past. It's not, and I'm not talking about, the more machismo things.
Drinking and hitting your wife kind of shit.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. Like, well, yeah, you ride a I ride a motorcycle. I shoot guns. I got a mustache. I mean, those things are cool. Those make me cool, but they're not necessarily masculinity. Masculinity to protect, to procreate, to provide. To be a service to your community.
Protect. Yeah,
to protect is huge, right?
Yeah.
So, to be able to protect yourself. Most people don't even feel like they can protect themselves, So yeah, masculinity is not what it used to be. So I'm big on that in the gym, and I try to teach these kids that it's all right to be dominant. It's okay to be aggressive. Some people just got it. It's usually the people that came from like a fucked up household, and it's fun when you get it. It's fun when those students of mine that come through the gym, our mutual friend, Jim Menace is like that. It's she just had a different type of lifestyle. So when she walked through the door, she's just bottled up like a little devil, and then you just teach that person skills and discipline.
She picked it up quick too. I feel like
very quick. It's easy when you have a mentality. It's very similar to mine, and like you said, yours, where you just, people like that. You're all in. It's all or nothing, balls to the walls. I'm going hard in the paint. Real recognize real. Like I see it right away. So you said you see phenoms. It's like, yeah, I see plenty of talented kids, but very rarely do you see that. Very rarely do you see a person who's just like, yeah, this is it. I'm in now.
You know who I have a lot of respect for is Josh. That kid is, or I'm sorry, not Josh, Jacob.
Oh yeah, my little cousin.
That kid is fucking 17 years. I don't know any other 16 or 17-year-old kid.
Yeah.
That is in the gym nonstop like him and constantly working.
Yeah.
On his boxing.
Yeah, and he used to be a little fatty too.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's got some. Yeah, I think you see his old photos. He was a little fatty. Then I remember I just didn't see him for quite a bit of time. He was a few months, and then I just saw him. I was like, damn, like he lost a lot of weight.
Yeah,
and his technique looked a lot better, and now he's like all in on it.
I love it because most kids his age are sitting at home playing video games.
Yeah, jerking off.
Yeah,
smoking vape.
Right.
All those ins are like the new thing now, I think.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
Yeah.
I tried. I'm like 0-3 with them. I can't do it, dude.
Yeah.
I get nauseous.
Do you have like if you don't have some kind of outlet, let's say you aren't able to spar for a couple of weeks, do you feel like you start getting tense?
Yeah, I just had a tattoo, right? So I couldn't do anything like that for a couple weeks. And it kind of fucked with me a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, those demons are always there. I just want to, and some days if I'm in a bad mood, I was just telling Jimenez this the other day, I was like, yeah, I just want to spar. And then she was like, oh, don't do that to him. And I'm like, no, I just want to get hit. Sometimes I just want to get hit in the face. I know what I can do. Sometimes just the fight, it's just like, hit me, I'll hit you. Hit me, I'll hit you. That's kind of get it off, get it out. You've seen the movie Fight Club. I love it's one of my favorite movies. A lot of, I think it's Nietzsche and philosophy, I think, in that movie. And again, I go back to just the traditional masculinity and just being a man and being dangerous and being rough. And we need a little bit more of that. People need to fight. They need to get hit in the face. They need to get strangled, which is what you guys do.
Yeah.
I just think it builds character. It's good for you.
Humbles you for sure.
It humbles you. Yeah, teaches you that, like, because that's the cool thing about jits too, is like every time you get tapped, I mean, that's like you just died. Even if it's an arm bar, he just maimed you. And now you're one less arm, and now you know what I'm saying. If it's a fight, that's you just killed you.
Yeah.
So, it's just I'm a big proponent of that. It's a big advocate for that. Rather, it's important for these kids. Seeing Jacob, how far he's come. Another guy who's had a rougher childhood, and he's made something for himself. I'm really proud. I'm proud to be a part of it too. I'm proud to have been somewhat of an example for him in my family. We don't really come from much, so.
Do you get fulfillment from like, say you're at a fight that I know you don't call yourself a coach, but you were training, does well, even if they don't do well. Do you get fulfillment from being a part of that person's life? And I'm sure I do. I'm not like, I told Steve this a long time ago. I was like, I think you wanted me to coach, be in the corner and do like a whole boxing thing. And I just told him, like, and Jeff, I'm a teacher, man. I just like to teach. I said, you guys can have all the glory. I don't need any of it. I got my own thing going on, and I chase glory. I'm good on that. It makes me happy just seeing them do well. That's all. It really does. And even if these kids don't ever compete, or they don't make a lot of money or whatever, again, I'm just big on like just helping these kids just boss up and man up and just become stronger, tougher individuals. Because
I don't know what you think the issue is, but we have a serious issue in our society right now with like again traditional masculinity, and it's just something that I'm so enveloped in right now, and so like aware of, and I'm trying to figure out what I can do to help out with that, but that's what makes me like the most proud, is seeing these kids in the way that they are, teaching these kids how to be around women, like how to behave, how not to behave. Some of these, there's just a lot of cucked out dudes, and these kids come in and they're just like brainwashed. And I'm like, for lack of a better term, you kind of got to red pill these kids in a way, and just kind of wake them up. And that's what brings me the most joy. But I don't know what's going on. These kids today are fucking weird and like really gay. So they come in and they like paint their nails.
I know,
these kids, and
I know,
like,
man.
I'm just,
and they think the gender's a spectrum.
Yeah, we're all equals and yada, yada, yada. And, that's a hot take. But, one of my best friends is a woman. But, the first time I ever hung out with her, she'll tell you straight up. I was like, she's an officer. If I ever called the police and you showed up, I'd be pissed. So I told her, she was like, what the fuck? And I was like, yeah, dude, I'm just like, I'm pro guy. Like, I'm pro man. I think I'm so aggressive about it because it's just been pushed in my face and put out there, and we've been told to think a certain way, and we're like this, and you could do anything I could do, and she could do anything, and it's just fucking nonsense. And after I stopped boxing is when I started to really, I guess, just pay attention or notice some of this stuff.
Well, I think COVID really brought a lot of shit forward.
Yeah, you know what? You're probably right. You're probably right. But I know it was after, because it really, where we're 2025, I think it was in 2023 towards the end of that, where when I stopped fighting, fighting is like anything that's like that high demand. It just takes all your mental capacity. It just it just fills your whole hard drive up. It's just, I don't have any other room for it, depending on the type of person you are. And I was that. So once I stopped, and also I think age, I think you stop.
Yeah.
You start paying attention to shit around you as you get older.
Yep.
As opposed to just being like me, which I was. And then, I just remember I was sitting at home one day, and these things would just kind of come up, and I didn't understand why I was feeling this way, because I was never very political. I'm not really a political person, really. As far as like how deep can you go, I wouldn't even consider myself political, but I just started paying attention to stuff, and I was watching a TV show. I remember the day where I started being like, I guess the whole radicalization for me started where I just got really angry. I was watching this show. It's called The Last of Us. It's based on a video game.
Oh, yeah.
You seen it?
Yeah. I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. So it was like, should I go there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, we're watching it, and it's a post-apocalyptic show about zombies or whatever. And there's like these badass like militia groups, and they're fighting, they're on opposing sides. And like there's like this girl boss character, and she's bossing around these like badass military dudes, like these guerrilla warriors that are like getting shit done. She's like some fat boss lady, and she's just bossing them around, like yelling at them. And I was like, what is going on? And then you just keep seeing that time and time again, because in reality, in a post-apocalyptic world, in that world, you're probably a sex slave. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I know it's crazy to say, but that is like, it's just what are we doing? Instead, you're like, no, make her the boss. She's going to boss everybody around. Another episode down the line, there's two dudes fucking for like an entire episode. It's just like everything is like very gay. It's very homosexual.
They really try and push it in your face,
yes, too. It's very emasculating. And I was just kind of started getting mad. The video games I was playing were extremely gay, and I mean gay, like actually literally just gay, and I just kind of started getting tired of it. And so, I started just looking into stuff and noticing things, and that was when that was the first time I ever voted. I voted recently, and my opinions have changed on that recently too as well. But we're just in a weird place where I think it's traditional masculinity has been like just destroyed, and women have taken up, and because somebody has to. How many single moms or just moms? I know so many whose husbands are just total cucks and are now wearing the pants, making the rules, feeling like they probably even are the protectors in the family. And, you know, if you look at stats, you know, women traditionally don't do well raising boys.
No.
You can look at the black community as your example for that. Because what are we talking? 1 in 4 stick around in the black community. So that tells you right there what you need to know. You know, so it's like, we got to step up.
It's starting to happen in the whites too.
Is it?
Yes. The amount of single mothers. So do you ever read Thomas Sowell?
No, but I've heard of him.
Yeah. Phenomenal economist, Stanford. If you ever listen to his stuff, he's very profound. His books are very profound, very fact and data driven. I know people don't like facts anymore. He's black, but he said, when I was in my 20s, I was very almost socialist. And he said, then I went and worked in the government and I realized how inefficient the government is. And I became a capitalist. And that's when he started really digging in the data. And he found that when government steps in, for example, when government stepped in with, for example, family aid, right, is when the black community started to have more single family households. Before, the black family was very pro-family, right? But then once the government stepped in and started providing assistance, more black males started to leave and more single mothers were there.
What year was this?
Started in the 60s.
Yeah, sounds right.
And so I think it was pre-60s was something like 80% of kids in the black community were raised by a two-parent household, 20% were single. After the government stepped in and started providing assistance, it flip-flopped. So it went 80% were being raised from a single-parent household and only 20% from a two-parent household.
Wow.
And the whites pretty much stayed consistent. Look, this is not my facts. These are facts from a Ivy League professor as well as other institutions. But now you're starting to see the whites, it's starting to happen in the whites now where, you know, it was something like 90-10, 90% of white families were raised by a two-parent household. And now you're starting to see that number shift to, it's like only 40% now are being raised by a two-parent household.
Wow. I wonder how many, what percentage of that is mixed race? Black fathers. No, I'm just fucking around. But I mean, honestly, yeah, I don't know. It's not a great look. You know, that's something that I talk about too a lot on my social media, and we share a lot of memes. I'm sure, you know, a lot of people do, but it's not a good look right now for blacks in America. You keep hearing the term black fatigue being thrown around and this and this and that. And I just, you know, black people are the fucking shit. Like, there are some amazing, I have amazing black friends. You know, we all do. But you want to talk about, you had to bleep that out, but it's just like, that's the shit that's really destroying the community. And you can argue that it's music. You can argue that it's even systematic, that it was kind of, it's been a long journey to get here and that these things were planned. There's a lot of arguments that you can make, but, you know, I think we're all just kind of sick and tired of the whole victim mindset, the whole, like, I can't do this, and the white man is out to get you, and the white man is the devil, which never really made sense to me. Why, like, if I was telling you, hey, this group of people over here is out to get you, they're going to keep you down, they're going to keep you disenfranchised, and they don't want you to be successul, and then your response is to kill your own people. It just doesn't really make any sense. That math doesn't math. It's like, when do you revolt? But it's like, they just, the idea is to destroy your own community, you know, and then, you know, blacks kill more blacks than whites kill more blacks. However, white people are the devil. There is no, and I'm just really tired of it. I'm tired of the whole race thing. I'm tired of the whole left versus right, the black versus white, the gay versus straight. Now the man versus women. The genders are at each other's throats now. You know, equality this, equality that, and you know, toxic masculinity is a thing. But
were you raised with a two-parent household?
Yeah, my stepfather. So I never knew my real father, but I was lucky enough to be raised around men. Yeah. You know, I was.
What's your background, ethnicity-wise?
My father is black and my mother is Mexican. Okay. So I'm basically Puerto Rican. It's basically yeah. No, a little bit of Native American too, apparently Navajo or something like that. But Yeah, I was an orphan when I was younger or I would have been if my grandfather didn't adopt me. I was raised around him and his sons. So I was raised around men. That's what I saw, and they had their women, but it was a male dominated household and Hispanic, so you could understand that dynamic. And then even when my mom came back around my life, she was very butch. She's very like kind of masculine and rough.
Because she had to be.
Yeah, of course. I don't think any woman wants to be that way,
right?
Just by design, nature. But
you actually hear that quite a bit on social media, where women talk about this all the time. I see it on my social media all the time, where they will say, "I am always in my masculine energy. I do not feel feminine anymore because." Listen, I have the girls that work for me downstairs. And they tell me when these fucking guys take them out on dates, it's not even a date. First off, they either they have to pay the girl or they have to split it. The guy doesn't pick them up. The guy doesn't fucking court these girls at all anymore.
Yeah.
Like that just is that's mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
And when they tell me these stories, I'm like, why do you even give these douches time then?
Because the pickings are slim right now, and that is a majority.
Yeah.
It seems like. Of what's out there right now. How many women I've heard have just only had most of the time poor sexual experiences, just men being selfish in bed, just getting theirs and then bouncing, it's like, yeah, they're not, like you said, they're not courting, you could even argue, chivalry, maybe even romance is not as a thing of the past. Regardless of how you feel about romance, I was very romantic when I was young. I used to write poems, and I was kind of gay in that sense. But, nowadays, I don't necessarily need to do those things. I don't need to be as romantic. I think you can carry yourself a certain way. Romance is more for, like, in my opinion, it's okay if you do it. I'm not knocking you. For me, I always felt like it was more of like I was doing it to compensate for shit. It's more of like the peasants are the ones that are romantic. The kings don't need to be. If you carry yourself that way, then I don't think you need to. And you can bring more other shit to the table. And you can still make a chick feel butterflies. You don't need to do, not to say I don't buy flowers. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like I was over the top. You could even even define it as love bombing. A lot of guys do that shit, but yeah, here's the thing, bro. I fell into that trap. Up until the last couple of years, I was that guy that you're describing. And that's probably why I'm so aggressive about it, because I was a part of it, the movement, and just the brainwashing of just like, this is what's normal. And it's normal for chicks to have multiple sexual partners. And it's normal for dudes to just split the bill all the time. And yeah, we're all equal. It's like, this whole fucking psyop that's been pushed on us, that's gotten us to divide us first. Now you could sweep in and do whatever you want, and now we're all fighting at each other. And now men ain't shit. I don't need no man. How often you fucking hear that?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I saw a study recently. 50% of men are not even actively, boys my age and younger, are not even actively pursuing women in the dating field right now, because it's hard out here.
There's more men now having less sex than ever, because either boys are so wrapped up in fucking video games or staying online, pornography. Yeah, man. You're like you said a few minutes ago, it's fucking crazy times.
It's a crazy time. And it's actually kind of genius too. If I was, not to get conspiratorial, but let's say I was this elite group of people and I wanted to have a firmer grip on society and get to control, I would for sure 100% the first thing you need to target is the men. Women aren't a problem. They're just not. What are they going to do? They're going to pick up guns. We could enslave all of women tomorrow if we wanted to. All the men could do it like that. They're not a problem. They're not a threat. Okay, so you got to weaken the men. You have to destroy their masculinity. You have to get them bickering amongst each other. Just create divide. Any great leader knew that in order to conquer, you need to divide. So, I know that sounds conspiratorial because we don't know that that's what's happening, but it seems like the ultimate psyop, just kind of emasculate everybody and you can move in. Why do you want our guns?
Yeah.
Once you take our ARs, it's a wrap. You could do whatever the fuck you want. You could do whatever you want. So
and your speech,
which that's a joke. We don't really have freedom of speech. You say one bad thing about Israel on here, and you're fucking banned off the fucking YouTube. Yeah. So it's not good. But the gym, things like the gym, martial arts, even, you know, weightlifting, I know you said it wasn't as good, but some people get a lot out of it. But yeah, I just think men need to feel dangerous again. And it seems to be a shift. I think there is actually a turning.
I think the pendulum's starting to swing.
Yes, sir. I think so. And it's really fucking exciting. And I'm a part of it. It happened with me. You know, I'm starting to integrate more into traditional masculine things that I never saw. How was I supposed to know? I didn't see that. I did see men providing. I did see that aspect in procreating and even obviously protecting. But, you know, I never got a lot of like lessons from men, like telling me how to be, how to treat women and do this and that. It wasn't a priority. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, those are things that I want to do differently with my children, and that I try to do with the kids today. I try to do a good job, but yeah, these kids are way different today than just in the last like 5 or 10 years that I remember.
I've been saying that. I've been saying since COVID, the kids are, even the kids that work for me, it's night and day compared to pre-COVID. And, you know, you used to say it was a conspiracy, right? You used to hear all the shit that Alex Jones would say and be like, God, that guy is fucking crazy. And then all the shit that he said is actually true. And then, you know, I think kind of like you said, my eyes started to really open in the last few years.
Yeah.
I think the Charlie Kirk thing is very questionable. Kind of like, you know, I think what he was saying was, again, he was just spitting facts. And when he would talk about black communities, white communities, you know, college campuses, all of that stuff, he was not condemning any race or community or group, but then they take bits and pieces and there's no context behind the bites, the sound bites that they put out online. And then, like you said, it creates divide.
Yeah.
But that's not what he was saying at all if you listen to the whole speech or the whole talk.
No, it's not. That's called a psyop. I mean, that is what that is. You target a specific audience. You start to pump them information, very specific information, propaganda. And then you just keep pushing it until they start to radicalize and their emotions change. And then you can move in. These are military tactics. You can look this up. You can rent this book, PsyOps, on Amazon. Like it's what it's actually being done, it seems like. And it's
very Orwellian.
Very effective at it. It's genius, actually. Whoever's doing it. It's kind of genius.
The technology makes it easier now.
Oh, man. And I was just talking to a buddy about this the other day. There was a video of Charlie Kirk shooting, and it was that black guy that was up there stealing hats off his table. Did you see that video? And he was stealing it. And I commented on it when I saw it, and I was just like, not the best look for us, you know? And then my buddy said, you know what's funny? And it said, you know, black guy stealing Charlie Kirk's hats moments after he was shot. Yeah, well, you know, that was actually before Charlie Kirk was shot. If you actually look at the video.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's people everywhere. That place was a fucking wasteland after he got shot. There's still hats all over the table. There's security guard talking to other security guards. There's students in the background of the video. They're like, hey, throw me a hat. Nobody was there when shots rang off. There were phones and garbage everywhere. That video was taken before. Yeah, my buddy was telling me about this, and I was like, holy shit. I mean, it's just so easy. It is so easy. To just convince and create a narrative. You can make Joe Rogan yellow on the news and tell him that he was on all these
horse
things.
medication.
Yeah, right. Horse medication, which I'm pretty sure he's suing
the
for.
most prescribed medicine in the world, ivermectin.
Yeah.
Won a Pulitzer Prize for its benefit to humanity.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, it's easy to divide us, to brainwash us, to like, you know, get us to hate one another. And you kind of go down the rabbit hole of things, like I have been. They're calling it the Great Awakening, whatever. But yeah, you kind of go down the hole, and then you know, it's interesting. Lately, or from my experience, was like the checkpoint was like Hitler. It seemed to be. I was like, what is going on here? This is a whole thing, and I started diving into that whole world in World War II, and that was a very interesting topic. And then at the end of it, or you can get off whenever you want, but it was like Jesus Christ for me personally. Like that was, you know, I'm back on that, and I wasn't for a long time. I kind of fell off of that, but
which you're starting to see a lot more of that too. People going back to Christ.
Man, yeah, there's just so much evil, and if there's so much evil, that was the whole thing for me. Is like there's so much condemning of speaking that. And one thing I don't like is if you try to tell me like we can't talk about this. That's a problem. I mean, you kind of fucked up when you tell people you're not allowed to say Jesus Christ. You can't say Israel. You can't say Jews. You can't do this. You banning this and that. It's kind of weird to be doing that. But Nas X is crucifying himself and twerking on the devil's dick in his music video. We're allowing that. You know, you can condemn and say whatever you want. You can make songs. My buddy was like, yeah, there's a Klan song on Spotify. You know, it's like, I'm a hang me, hang some dude from a tree. It's like a crazy rant song, but you know, Heil Hitler's not on there. So it's just like, we're not really we don't really have freedom of speech. And, you know, it just kind of brings me back to like, if you're telling me I can't, it seems like if they try to platform somebody, I look twice. And I'm just like, I'm not really drinking the Kool-Aid. But if they start to condemn somebody, I'm really gonna look at that and be like, what's going on?
Look what they're doing in the UK right now. They're putting people in prison for social media posts.
And didn't they just do something else with the digital ID? Are they trying to pass
they're
that?
They're trying to pass that. You know when that shit's going on over there, it's gonna start heading our way.
I don't see that going well.
No.
I don't see that going. I pray to God nothing like this happens, but it's easy to picture some we're due for some type of a civil war.
I was watching some video that was saying that with the digital ID and then soon to be digital currencies is all going to be tied together, where they'll basically tell you how you can spend your money, and it's only going to be on essentials. And Larry Fink, who is the CEO of BlackRock or Blackstone, I can't remember. They're both ginormous funds, trillions in assets under management, has basically said that there will be no property ownership.
Who owns BlackRock?
A lot of big corporations are big.
Yeah.
And that's why BlackRock just announced massive investments in BTRs, which are build-to-rent homes, massive investments in home builders so that they could turn them into rentals. And I tell you what scares me. What scares me is the amount of Middle Eastern foreign investment into the United States. Fuck China. Look at what's going on with foreign Middle Eastern investment. Look at the amount of money that the Saudis are putting into the U.S. government and the U.S. Communities. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary. We're selling off. We're selling the U.S. off to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
You know, like why does China own land in the U.S.? Like not like land to just build factories, like farmland, land close to military bases.
Right.
Why are we allowing that?
Right.
That's bananas.
Yeah. This country is not what it once was. It's definitely falling apart. People keep calling it. I keep hearing people say they're the United States of Israel or whatever.
Yeah.
We're owned by them as well. Yeah, our allegiance. We're not about America. It doesn't seem like anymore. We're not about Americans, America first. Which is that whole Nick Fuentes movement. It's like we're not about that. We're concerned. We've got a lot of business people, like it seems like, that are trying to profit and take advantage of our system. And I don't really know how else to. You know, Trump promised to drain the swamp and we're going to start over, and that was all a big fucking facade. The whole MAGA movement.
Well, look, he kept promising releasing the Epstein files.
Yeah, it was a big. He really let me down on that. It was the first year I ever voted, and I was like, okay, let's do this. You know, like, I like what he's standing for. I like what he's doing. The border, you know, the whole ICE itch, it's like, apparently, you know, he's doing some good work there. And I don't mean it's great to see families ripped apart. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying we need borders. That needs to happen. But it's like, it's less than 1,000 people a day. It's nearly not like he's even really doing that much. I like that there's no more dudes in chick sports. It might seem small and silly thing, but it's like that's the start of what we were talking about before. You know, about we need to see a return of like traditional masculinity in this society, and like we need to start to just introduce some sense.
Yeah,
it seems like the left is like, and again, I don't like the divide because you're going to have way more in common with a liberal, maybe even a radical liberal, than you are with some fucking billionaire who's running shit. These are our people. We all are in this together, but
common folk.
Yeah, but they are La La Land. It seems like they are introducing these values and these morals that are just. I don't really know how else to describe it besides satanic. I don't want you fucking with kids. I don't want you telling kids they could be boys, could be girls, and girls could be boys, and men could be in chick sports. And yeah, it's not good. There's a lot of like really weird shit going on that side that just seems to me borderline demonic, and I'm not with that.
I don't. I try not to. I know it sounds bad. I try not to like think about it too much because you start getting angry. But like, how did we get to the point where parents thought it was okay to transition their 8-year-old child? Well, a fucking 8-year-old child doesn't even know what they want for dinner. Yet you're gonna go and give them hormones or like. I don't care what anyone says. Most people are dipshits until they're 25 years old.
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
Yeah.
Right. I always say like life is like a bell curve. The vast majority of people fall within this bell curve in anything, sports, society, careers. They're all within this bell curve. And you have these outliers, right? On both sides. Generally speaking, most people do not have a common sense, a good head on their shoulders until they're after 25 years old. Until then, you're just doing dumb shit and trying to figure life out.
I agree.
And why the fuck would you allow your adolescent child to make those decisions about their life before they even hit puberty?
Well, yeah, it doesn't really make sense on paper because they're not allowed to join the military.
Right.
Or drive a car.
Right.
Like you said. So, yeah, it's really interesting that they would allow that. You'd have to maybe start thinking about who voted some of these people in power that are starting to push laws like this. Always, all of them 100% of the time Democratic.
But that's a whole nother conversation because now I have seriously questioned in the last 2 elections, I don't feel like we actually have a democracy.
I don't either. I don't even think the whole left versus right thing. It just seems like it doesn't matter. It seems like we are owned, like you said, about these other foreign countries. And we have allegiances to places that don't give a fuck, that hate us, that hate our country and hate our culture. And
I can remember when George H.W. Bush ran, and his biggest thing that he ran on in 2000 was, we are not a nation-building country. And I'm like, that's the guy for us. Like, why are we going off to all these other foreign places and not taking care of our own people? Why are we letting our veterans come back from service and not taking care of them and treating them like shit, right? And I'm like, I like what he says. What's the first fucking thing that guy did when he got into office? He went and he invaded Iraq and created a false story about WMDs. And right then I knew, I'm like, it's all a fucking Ponzi scheme, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's the same thing just happened recently with the whole MAGA movement. It's just like you said you were going to do this thing, and all of a sudden you're gaslighting people for being like, what Epstein list? Yeah, it's all a facade. These people are all owned. I'm not down with any of them. I'm not down with the politician stuff. I don't know if I'll ever vote. It's funny because when I was younger, I never voted because I just thought, it doesn't matter. Why would it matter? Why would my vote matter? There's people pulling the strings. And then you start to realize, like, it doesn't really... Listen, but then again, if I had to do it again, I would go ahead and do Trump again. If I have to pick my poison, probably going to go with the guy who was a little bit more traditional and...
Well, at least had some coherence. Yeah. Right?
Kamala wasn't going to start pushing, getting rid of all this LGBT, tranny, faggot stuff. I'm tired of it, bro. I am so sick and tired of it. Like, it was chill. I miss times when, like, I didn't even know what a transgender person was. And I'm going to get a lot of flack if people see this. But it's like, I just miss it. Just go back in the closet, chill out. Actually, you guys can do whatever you want to do. It's just they get in your own personal life, but I think people they get cocky, and you start. It seems like it started once you legalize gay marriage. You give people a little bit of play, and then you just run with it, dude. There are drag shows right down the street from my house. Children are at these events and get to go here, and To me, it's just borderline satanic. I don't really know how else to describe it, but it feels evil and it feels wrong. And you hear these kids coming forward today that are like, 5 years after the fact, like I chopped my dick off and I cut my breasts off, and they have so much regret. Because because you're a fucking 12-year-old boy or girl, and you don't have the faculties or the processing to be able to make a decision like that. That's insane, and shame on the parents. I don't know where that came from. I try to think of a man in the 80s,
right,
being like, yeah, that's fine. Little Timmy could be Tanya now. Like, it's crazy to even think about that. So that's why I push masculinity, because I think if we just run that back, and I try to talk with these kids, and we run that back, and we get back to a place where there's some sanity and more of a patriarchy, which it is. This is a man's world. It is, and it always will be. But
there's nothing. But the thing is like, here's my personal feeling is like, I feel like, in a way, women are the dominating gender, because they bear our children, they give birth to our children, and they raise our children, right? The man obviously has a huge role in that, but women sacrifice quite a bit to be able to do those things, right? But it takes two. It's not a one-man team. It takes two to tango. It takes two to raise a family.
It takes a village to raise a boy and a child.
It does, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, it's not to say, I'm not here saying bashing women, and I guess I haven't really said anything positive, but I think I've just pushed so hard in the other direction because I'm just tired of the radical viewpoints from women and the radical viewpoints from cucked out dudes that are pitching this stuff to our young men of our society, and even older men, and even myself, where I may not have been like, yeah, that sounds right, but I think it just subconsciously kind of seeps into your spirit and your soul, and there's nothing traditional about it. It's this new age way of thinking, and just look around you and look where we're at. It just seems like it's not right. Yeah, it's not that women are useless. Absolutely they are. And I have, like I said, one of my best friends is a chick, and, it's like they have their roles in society, but it's just that you have a role. Yeah. And I'm tired of this whole, like, there are no gender roles. You could do anything that I can. I could do anything that you can. It's an absurd way of thinking. And you can crush that whole thing, because it's like, well, we won't go into it that deep, but I have no problem. I'm not a woman hater or anything like that. I'm for men, and I'm just tired of seeing these young boys and these men like just cuck out over the things that they're seeing around them, and having the problems that I had when I was younger. And I see it, I'm like, oh, that's not good. I just wish somebody had talked to me the way that I talk to these kids today, and just help lift them up. I don't tell men to mistreat women or yada yada yada, but I just tell them to, like, I let these kids know that you're a fucking king, bro, and you need to start carrying yourself like that. And like you said, court women, treat women right, take care of them. It's your job to protect them, to provide for them, and yada yada yada. Like traditional shit. These are my viewpoints. It's based around religion. That's my background. It is based around Christianity and values and morals that I've learned from the Bible. So, that's where I'm coming from.
Crazy to think about that people 2,000 years ago were wiser than what we are now for how advanced we are technologically.
That makes sense. I mean, what are kids going to be like in 20 years? Let's say, ChatGPT's down for a fucking day, because they're going to be drooling. I don't use it as much. Maybe once a week I'll ask it something, but yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, because you're not, how much wisdom is this actually? How much life experience are you getting from this? And how much decision making and problem solving you're actually having to do when you could just ask. I'm hearing stories now of surgeons in the fucking surgery room pulling up ChatGPT, which is crazy. Yeah, this thing's meant to make us, we're going to be slaves to this probably. It seems like all the movies kind of push towards that too, like The Matrix, Terminator.
That's what's crazy is a lot of the movies are like, sci-fi is coming to,
it's coming true, right?
Life,
it's like it really did kind of predict all of it, and I didn't know what any of that stuff meant when I was younger. But now that I'm older, I'm like, dude, The Matrix is kind of like a timeless movie. It's kind of crazy. It's obviously extremely far-fetched, but
Is it though?
Is it right? Is there's a lot of similarities?
I mean, Elon is making the interface into the brain. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Eventually, are these things just going to be in our
head?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, the Meta just came out with the new glasses, right? Where, I mean, Zuckerberg has came out and said, like, he feels in the next 20 years, people won't have phones anymore. They'll just have eyewear. And it'll all be hand gestures and everything be right here.
Could just be like a contact lens, maybe.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, well, at that point, isn't that like how you depict aliens, right? Aliens are always depicted the same way, big heads, skinny bodies.
Yep.
It's probably like what it'll be like.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just be like maybe our heads will get bigger,
mm-hmm.
our bodies will get frailer.
Mm-hmm.
If that's a word. And like,
well, I don't know though, because I feel like with the food in our society, I mean, look at like in the last 30 or 40 years, the average weight of a person is gone drastically up.
yeah,
You walk around now, go to the beach.
yeah,
The beach now does not look like the beach from the 70s. In the 70s, people were actually in,
yeah,
halfway decent shape.
yeah,
Now everybody is overweight.
yeah. Yeah, well, hey, man, you got to love yourself, body positivity, brother. So, it's just like such a fucking stupid ass concept. And there's a huge hole in that. The whole like, oh, you're fat, you're not fat, you love yourself, body positivity. Okay, well, then as soon as they invented a magic pill, why the fuck was everybody taking it?
Mm-hmm.
It was epic. It's like, well, what is that? If you love yourself so much and it's fine. No, dude, you're just telling everybody you don't really have what it takes or want to put in the work to actually get fit. You'll just take
That's exactly right. There's no more self-discipline.
Yeah, it's a fucking that was such a joke to sit here and pitch that whole body positivity. Remember that who was it? The singer Adele. Remember she lost weight and there was like a whole. They were calling her a traitor, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
For getting healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've seen those videos, those old PE videos.
The makers of Ozempic is getting sued now, right?
For what?
$2 billion lawsuit because people's losing their eyesight and their stomachs are stopping to work. I think that what a lot of people don't realize about some of these, not all the GLPs, there's some that are good, but a lot of these GLPs, you lose weight, but the majority of the weight loss is muscle, not fat.
Really?
And so people, if they get on GLPs, they need to still eat right, and they need to work out. They need to maintain their muscle mass. Like muscle is what provides longevity,
Wasn't it originally for diabetes? Isn't that what it was about?
I think so. Yeah.
Did they alter it at all, or they're just like, here, try this?
To me, I think it was just kind of like, just put it out there, kind of like the shot.
Yeah.
Just get it out there.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a couple people that were on it. It seemed to work for them, but we'll see in the long run.
If you do it smart, a lot of these doctors, from what I understand, are over prescribing it. Mm-hmm. What they're saying, from what I've read and what I've talked to doctors, I've talked to nurses, and they've said like you have to microdose this stuff. You microdose it, you eat right, you work out. That's where you get the benefit.
Yeah. The last part. So I'm thinking people just take the pill and they don't have to do anything. And
Which
they
a
can
lot of
lose
people
weight,
do.
And they're losing it?
They lose weight, but they lose muscle mass.
Yeah.
I think it's 60% of the weight loss comes from muscle.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're a woman and you're doing that, guess what that's going to do? Osteoporosis, all of that other shit.
Right.
So, yeah, man. Crazy times, like you said.
Yeah, but I'm hopeful. I choose not. It's easy, like you said earlier. You get angry, try not to think about it too much. And I, for a minute there, was getting pretty. I can be kind of hateful, and I can get kind of just hateful and just feeling anger and aggression towards people. Mm-hmm. But I'd say over the past couple months, I've kind of like. I've been reading the Bible a little bit more and just trying to like dial that back and then also when you understand like what's happening in our society and like how it's like when I see a comment section because you see a black dude stabbing a white chick on a bus, you know, and then or on a train, and then you see the comment section.
You're talking about the Ukrainian girl?
Yeah,
yeah.
And then you see the comment section of just like all these like you know, racist comments or whatever. When they're not racist, they're just being objective. Some are racist, but it's like, yeah, I would feel aggression too, and I hate the guy, you know. But to give in to the fucking like the psyop and the to give in to the agenda, which is that like let's get these people to hate each other and let's show them this video and let's control which ones we do show, and then we'll blow up the ones that we want to blow up, and just get each other like this. We got to stop that shit. We got to stop because it's not productive,
you know,
whatsoever. It's just not, and it's easy. And everybody say, oh, you know, racist, and it's like, you know, I get called racist. People comment on my show all the time, like, you're a fucking racist. I'm like, yeah, dude, everybody's a little bit racist. Everybody has a little bit of prejudice. Everybody has stereotypes about different cultures, and it's normal, bro. Asian people are like this. Mexican people are like this. Black people are like this. White people are like this. It's fucking normal. You can say everyone has a little bit of that. It's ridiculous to say that you don't. But to hate somebody or to be nasty, violent, to wish death, or people celebrating a guy getting shot in the neck is just fucking satanic. That's crazy. That is evil, and we need to chill out with that shit and be like, sounds gay, but like love really is the answer. We got to start loving each other. But it's hard too, because you got people out here killing each other en masse. You know, blacks are doing what they're doing. You've got,
well, apparently that guy that stabbed that Ukrainian woman, from what I've read, had pretty bad mental health problems, and he'd been in and out of jail, prison, whatever you want to call it, and he just kept getting released.
Sure.
It's like, that's the judicial system failing society.
100% it is. Yeah, we don't really crack down. Hot take, but I think murder, depending on the stage or what it is, the scenario, there's a lot of crimes out there. Child predators. I mean, you should just be hung by the neck till dead. I think you just get rid of them.
Well, look at well, I can't remember his name. That UFC fighter that went after the guy that was
I know
touching
what you're
his
talking
son.
about. Mexican guy.
Yeah,
or something Hispanic.
And
yeah, did he shoot that guy?
He shot him.
He killed him?
Well, I don't know if he killed him. But still, like, if I was the father, I would fucking 100% be going after that dude.
Yeah, probably your entire bloodline.
Yeah.
If you've killed my children or something, you know, it's like, yeah. I mean, did he kill him or did he just molest him?
No, he molested him.
Yeah. Well, either way, you know, you're gonna. Yeah, I'll do time. I'll do the rest of my life for that. It sounds crazy to even say that, and you hear about it, and you're like, oh wow, that guy threw his whole life away. But you know, if I can't protect you, I don't really know what else my job is at this point. Then you can say, well, now you really can't because you're locked up, but. Yeah, emotions are high in times like that. I don't think something like that should happen. Yeah, there's some crazy videos. I've seen that one video is an old one. The guy molested his son, was walking by him in an airport. And
boom. Yeah, took care of him.
Right, it's justice. I mean, some things like that need to happen. Just get rid of them. Because if you know you're sneaking, you know, what you're sneaking on your computer, or you're doing some fuck shit, and you know that, if I get caught, just be a little bit of time and a slap on the wrist. It's like it's gonna be okay. You're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you know, oh shit, they castrate for this.
Yeah.
You know, I'll fucking get hung as you should. I'll get put down like this dog I am. Then you know, might have people seek to get help, or maybe, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, it is a judicial system. We do allow this fuckery. You know, what was it? I don't know if it's out here or in the city, but you can steal up to like $400 worth of shit now.
Yeah.
And not get I think it's after 400.
California's 1,000. You could steal up to 1,000.
Of course it's California.
Yeah,
dude. It's like, that's insane.
Yeah. You know, at the same time, I actually had this situation here at the gym, you know, because we have a daycare. And I had a member that all of a sudden hit the papers that he was accused of molesting his daughter. And so I had a bunch of members that were coming to me concerned that they didn't want this person in the gym because we had a daycare. And the guy was like a super nice guy, right? And I approached him. I'm like, look, man, I hate to even do this. Because here's the thing, is like, it's one thing to be accused. It's another thing to be convicted or, you know, whatever. I told him, like, look, man, I got to cancel your membership. We're getting a lot of complaints. He's like, I completely understand. And he told me the backstory behind it. He's like, it's a nasty ex-wife that was pissed off at him that he got a new girlfriend. And, you know, you hear that story and you're like, yeah, okay. But then like 3 months went by and it came out that she admitted to falsifying the story because she was angry at him. And so now this guy's life was completely tore down in the paper, right? In the media about this lie. Nothing happens to her. Well, why isn't she charged with?
He could sue, right?
Oh, sure. But like, what the fuck is that going to do? You know, if you don't have shit to your name and you sue somebody, what are you going to get?
Yeah, it's true.
Right. So there is that situations too, where guys are, you know, accused of things and it's 100% true because it's vindictive fucking chicks.
Yeah. Only a woman would do something like that. Right? I don't know. Hey, dudes doing some crazy. I've heard stories like that before. 100%. Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah. And that does suck because it's not what you, what is it? It's not what you know. It's what you can prove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not true what they say. It's innocent until proven guilty. That's not the case.
No, it's not. If that even is put out there, if even just a whisper of it, that's a wrap. Especially like Hollywood or with celebrities or anybody that's in the limelight. If you say a wrong thing or do something out of line, it's so easy to cancel people. Yeah, because of these things. Because it's just like you can just create a narrative so quickly. Like we talked about the whole Rogan thing, making him yellow, and it's just so easy to do it.
Yeah, man. Crazy times.
Crazy fucking times.
Dude, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on. That was great.
Yeah. If people want to learn more about you or maybe get some of your art, where can they reach out to you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram or TikTok, CalebCreates_. Yep. I post on there pretty frequently. You guys can shoot me a DM. I got a link tree on there. We got a Shopify on there. So all those links are in the bio.
Are you still taking commission work too?
Yeah, it's open. Depends on what it is, though.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You're selective.
Yeah.
Which I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got to get ready. I'm going to start doing some larger pieces. I know you said you wanted a Batman, so we'll talk about that.
I want the Hulk one too, that kind of somewhat goes along with this same storyline.
Huge. Yeah, that would be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, that'd be great, man. It looks great.
Yeah, I love how it turned out. Thanks for that. It's amazing. My man, thanks for coming on. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'll be sure to put all your contact info in the show notes and make sure to have you on again.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Thanks,
all right,
bro.
buddy. Talk to you.
Yes, sir.